Today, we are proud to interview Mr. Gerard Dubois, owner and founder of La Rose Noire, one of the biggest pastry manufacturers in the world, supplying to almost 60 countries, producing the most premium tart shell, one of the best macarons worldwide, premium desserts, bonbons, croissant, Danish chocolate creations, bread, and many, many more. So today we are very happy to pick up a bit of the creator's mind. Let me welcome Mr. Gerard Dubois. Thank you for being here.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me here today.
Okay, so before we start, tell us more about La Rose Noire. What is La Rose Noire? What do you produce? Tell us.
Wow, such a long story. Maybe we'll be here for 2 hours, you know.
Okay, you have time.
Actually, I started La Rose Noire 33 years ago with a little cake shop in Hong Kong. And today La Rose Noire is global, supplying 59 countries, 60 countries around the world. Mostly a fantastic high quality line of tart shells, cone and basket. But we're supplying as well many other lines. Like you were saying, our croissant, very high quality croissant, French flour, French butter. But we're doing our own chocolates as well. I'm a chocolatier by trade. I did an apprenticeship as a baker, pastry chef, chocolate and ice cream. So I always wanted to come back to making our own chocolate. So yes, we're making our own chocolates as well, our bonbons, and many new creation. Because the DNA of La Rose Noire is really the innovations. That's what I love to do. That's why it's a bit difficult to explain in 2 minutes what we're doing. But yes, we'll be here for many more hours, so it's okay.
No problem. With so many lines in La Rose Noire, what was the one that you started with? What is the first line?
The first line in La Rose Noire when I opened, it was really the croissants and Danish. The bread, croissants and Danish. Because I was in Hong Kong, we didn't really have some good breads on that time, no good sourdoughs. So I started 33 years ago by making some wonderful line of croissant, Danish and bread. And then it went into a snowball of many, many more products.
I see. So now you are based in the Philippines, right? But I know you come from a different country. So tell us, Mr. Dubois, where did you grow up and how does this impact on you today?
Wow, I come from a cuckoo clock country or chocolate country. Switzerland, where we are very fussy about our chocolate. We are very fussy about the quality of our product. We are very fussy on working on a clean energy. We are very fussy of really try to be the best of the best in what we do. And I guess that's really what stayed on me all over the past 30 or 40 years. I was in Switzerland. I did my apprenticeship, like I said, as a baker, pastry chef, chocolatier. And then right after, I was very energetic and hungry to see the world. So I moved on that time to Zurich to learn Swiss Germans. And right after, I moved to London. Why? There was the opening of the Gatwick Hilton. And at that time, they needed a pastry chef. So I started there and then move on to many, many more countries. But yes, coming from Switzerland. What that impacted on my life today, I guess the quality. I think Switzerland is really known for its quality. The people are very much focused on quality, and I believe that's what stick to me over so many years. Quality, quality, quality. That's what has been driving La Rose Noire for the past so many years. I personally never been driven for money. I never been driven for making more money or be more successful, but I always been driven as being the best of what we do. And I'm still today, I'm over 60, but still today based on quality. And that's really what drives me. And still, the money doesn't drive me, but the quality does.
We can see the passion in your eyes, Mr. Dubois. That's good to see. How do you get inspiration for your new products? How do you develop new products?
Eating a piece of our 69% single origin chocolate every morning. That gives me the inspirations. That's just the best way. The inspiration, I think I'm very lucky. I think I was born with that pastry inspirations. Wherever I travel around the world, whatever I do, I just see some new ideas, some new innovation, and constantly I'm in touch with our R&D team here, and we just create all the time some new products, and it is really a pleasure for me to develop it and for me to work with this team, because innovation, it's really, it's like sometimes I say it, I shouldn't mention, but if iPhone 4 will still be iPhone 4 and they would not have taken the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and keep going, iPhone will not be where they are today. And it's a bit the same with La Rose Noire. We are constantly creating, and maybe out of 10 creation, we take only 2. But it doesn't matter. We try to be above our competitors.
Great. So tell me, when you were a child, what did you want to be and why?
Wow, I was 12 years old. I was making bread and cakes in my mother's in our home with my parents. I mean, my father was an engineer, mother was a housewife, and then I was making bread and cake with her, where my twin brother was working with my father to be an engineer and to be all about running cars and trucks, and I was all about bakery and pastry. I think I was 11 or 12. I knew already on that time I wanted to make pastry. That was just a dream. It's funny. Today I see with some young kids, they are 20, 25, they still don't know what they want to do. And I was 12. And I already knew that I just wanted to work in a pastry. At 14 years old, I asked my parents if I could go and work in a local bakery shop. And they said, wow, that's a bit too young, 14. I said, oh, please, I want to go and work there. So every summer, I would just go and work in a local bakery shop. The passion was there since the very first day.
I see. Very nice to see. So, who has had the largest impact on your life since you were a child?
I guess my mom.
Your mom?
I guess my mom. Why? Because I was making all these cakes and bread. She was always helping me and with me. And yeah, I guess my mom gave me the most impact on what I do and did today. All about efficiency, being very diligent on what you do, be tough with yourself, exactly the same, and being super focused on what you do.
So being super focused is something your mom taught you to do?
In my own personality, yes. Yes, I think it was built from the family. And then from my father, from my mother, but I think that was my parents' personality and my mom's personality, that she really gave me this focus in life and happiness in life. Just be very happy. We are from a Christian family. We used to go every Sunday to church. We could not miss it. And then today I'm still doing that. My wife is very Christian as well. And then in Hong Kong, we go every Sunday to church. And then she did the same with my kids. They're not kids anymore because Caroline is 30 years old and Dominic is 28. But today they're still going to church. Yesterday was Sunday, and then I'm not in Hong Kong, so my wife went to church with my daughter. And then that's, I guess, went down from generation to generation. Interesting.
Interesting. So, Mr. Dubois, talking about your family, may I ask you, how did you meet your wife and why did you marry her?
Wow. I married her because she was the best of the best.
Right.
But how did I meet her? I used to work in Shanghai, 1987 and 88. And then I came down I was asked by the president and VP from the Hilton International Group to come down and work as area pastry chef to Hong Kong. And then my wife was working that time she was working at a Hilton Hotel as well. She worked all 10 years at the Hilton Hotel. And then when I came in, she was working there. She was working at the front desk. And I met her. She checked me in because I had a room at the hotel. And I guess she checked me out. And then it was right there, love at first sight. And then I think 2, 3, 4 months later, we were just going out and friendly together. And then years later, I proposed to her. Then I remember very well because I opened La Rose Noire in 1991. And my wife told me at that time, so what do you mean? You want to leave the Hilton and we open our own company? But we have nothing. I mean, I say, we have the faith and we have the passion. So I think it's fantastic. She said, but I'll soon be 10 years at the Hilton Hotel. And if I finish my 10 years, I get this 10 years reward or whatever. I said, don't worry, darling. I will have many more reward for you. She said, you really want us to move before the 10 years? I said, absolutely. We're opening La Rose Noire. Now it was 1991. We opened in August the 26th. But I slowly moved from the Hilton Hotel. I was just getting ready to open La Rose Noire in Hong Kong. And on the 26th of August, we opened. And then my wife started with me, and we never looked back. And I always told my wife, in case if we can't make it, we can always go back to the Hilton Hotel. That's the way it all started. And then a year later, she was pregnant from Caroline. And then I said, okay, I'll be taking care of the business and you'll be taking care of the family. And that was our best move because today I can see Caroline and Dominic are doing extremely well. And it's definitely not because of me, but because of my wife was really taking care of them. I was kind of busy running La Rose Noire, so, can't be everywhere.
You can be everywhere, that's right. Mr. Dubois, what is the advice you always told your kids? The one advice you always made sure they followed?
I would be very frank to you. I think the advice was much more coming from my wife. She was really the one running the family because I told her all the way long that I would be running the business and she would be running the family. She gave them a very good education, great education, and a great Christian education as well. And the most important that we always had is really do whatever you like in life. Be happy with what you do. And whatever you do, you should be passionate. Because many of my friends are telling me, oh, your daughter is not coming back in your business, or your son is not coming back in your business. And I say, you know what? I always told them, do whatever you like. My parents let me do whatever I wanted. And then my parents didn't tell me, oh, you need to be a lawyer or you need to be a doctor. Do whatever you like. And I believe today that's what it should be. And it's exactly the same with my kids.
That's great. So coming back to the company now, Mr. Dubois, how did you start La Rose Noire? And tell us what was the goal of the company in the beginning?
Wow, that's two massive questions in one, How did I start? I came to Hong Kong in 1988, end of 88. I started at the Hilton Hotel in early 89. And then Hong Kong is such a passionate city, such a vibrant city, so wonderful. And I went going around and say, wow, everybody is moving so fast. I mean, the business is flourishing, everything is fantastic. And then in early 89, I had almost no money, little money. I bought my first apartment in Hong Kong. And then I realized that a year later, I sold that apartment and I double up the amount. I said, wow, I got a little money. I could start my own business. And then in 1991, early 91, I was looking to start my own. I found a partner at that time, Michelle. And then we said, okay, what we could do, we start together. It will be a 50-50 joint venture. And then he was my father's age, so much older. He was a pianist. He had absolutely no idea in a pastry and bakery. but it could be at the front of the business, which the first business was actually a restaurant, cake shop. So we call it a sidewalk cafe. Sidewalk cafe in Pacific Place in 1991 in Hong Kong, on the third floor of Swire in Central. Then we started there, and really it was all about the pastry, the bakery, the restaurants, and it was doing so well from the first day. We were making our own chocolate. It was very busy. We were making our, croissants and Danish and sandwich. The place was busy from early in the morning to late at night. It's a shopping center called Pacific Place. And then I was working from 5 in the morning to 10 at night because the place was never closed, was always open. So I had to be there every day. But at the same time, Saturdays, Sundays, but at the same time, it was ongoing, just nonstop. I think my first day off was maybe a year later. I started and I was from 6 in the morning to 10, 11 o'clock at night, no days off, nothing. So that was the start of La Rose Noire. But at the same time, I realized very quickly that Hong Kong was a booming place, that you could make money with the properties and then you can make money with your own business. So that's why I keep actually opening a second La Rose Noire and a third. And I was so lucky to be at the right place at the right time. They wanted to have top quality products. It was somehow easy.
Something you knew how to do.
Something I just knew how to do, yeah. I was born with. I didn't have to think too much about it.
Great. So how did the name La Rose Noire come up?
Wow, that's a very good question, actually. The name came up from a champagne.
Champagne?
Yeah. A champagne called La Rose Noire from a French company, one of the best champagne at that time. We were drinking that champagne, and at that time we said, oh, La Rose Noire, from that champagne, and that's where it came up from. So a year later, I started to register the name in Hong Kong. And then as we grew and grew, I started to register the name in many other countries around the world. And when it was time to register the name La Rose Noire in France, my lawyer said, oh, there is a champagne who are basically saying they don't let you register, or you can register on the pastry bakery, 2 different classes, but you cannot register on the champagne. I said, no problem, I will never register on the champagne. But since 10 or 15 years, I'm still buying that champagne now, and I'm drinking it because I just love it. So it came out from a champagne, actually.
That's great. That's great. So, did you face any challenges on the way up?
Many.
Many. Can you share some with us?
Wow, that's many challenges, definitely. Maybe one of the biggest challenges that I very seldom talk about it. It was one of my partner that I had at the time, a junior partner, a European. I will not mention his name and I will not mention where he's from, but a European partner which came and joined me. He was working with me at the Hilton Hotel, and when I was working in China, his brother was working with me. I knew his family. I knew my wife was very close to the family. And then he was, I guess, addicted to maybe stock market. Mm-hmm. And he stole a lot of money from me and from La Rose Noire. I never said anything to any of my staff or anything. And the day that I found out, which was very late, and he had stolen a lot of money. Basically, I was almost bankrupt. The company was almost bankrupt. Then I told my lawyers and my accountant that I will not be suing him. And then my wife said, do not shave a shaved lamb. And she was absolutely right. She said, we will keep going. Let's not say anything to anybody. Let's forgive him. And then 4 years later, he did exactly the same thing to somebody else in Hong Kong because he was addicted. It was a illness, I guess. And then he was placed in prison in Hong Kong. not by me, but by somebody else who did not like it. So, but I had many interesting challenge in my life. You know, when opening a business in Hong Kong was definitely challenging. Opening the business in China in 2003 was very challenging. Opening the business in Philippines was more routine, but on a very early days yet, it's challenging. And thing that you never forget and you learn. You know, you can go to the best school in the world that you will never learn, and there you can.
That's correct. Mr. Dubois, talking about all these challenges, what is the most important lesson you've learned over the years?
One word: focus. And I can even repeat it 3 times. Stay focused. Do what you do best. Don't worry about the money you could come. Don't worry. Just do what you do best and what you love to do. It could be called a passion. That's why I did some cookbook called Passions. But stay focused, focus, focus.
Great.
Do not lose track.
Talking about the books, we have here 3 books of yours. Tell us more about them. How many books you have? How do you create them?
Actually, 1 is missing here, or 2 are missing. I did one when I was at the Hilton Hotel on the very early days, the cutting edge, with 2 chefs from the Hilton. And then in 2003 in Hong Kong, we had a SARS. The business was going down, the restaurant, everybody was worried for Hong Kong and I was worried for my own business. But I didn't want to fire anybody. And I really wanted to keep everyone. And at that time, I told Yvonne Wang, our managing director, you know what, let's keep everyone, but let's keep them busy. And how do we keep them busy? Then we did a cookbook, which was my recent journey. That's the way I started La Rose Noire and all the product that we were doing. And then years later, I say, wow, I would like to do even more. Cookbook 1, all about our cakes. And then I did a book here for the 15th anniversary of La Rose Noire. And that book is really the large size cookbook, exactly the same size as the cutting edge that I did at the Hilton Hotel. And then this one, the first one, was all about cakes. We worked for months and months making the most innovative cakes that you could. And even today, when I'm looking at it, many of the pastry chefs say, wow, that was very innovative. That's already 20 years ago. And then did another one all about tart shell, cake, and basket, because on that time we were starting to sell all our tart shell, cake, and basket. But many people were telling me, oh, we'd like to have some ideas, what to do with this product. And so I said, okay, let's make a cookbook. And then we did a cookbook, half sweet and half savory. I did all the sweet one with our team, and my very close friend Angelo McDonald did the savory part. And then all these books are basically, I'm the publisher. So I own the intellectual properties, I own the name, and it was not paid by La Rose Noire, but I paid that myself. It's called under La Rose Noire Holding. So I'm the publisher of this book. I spend a lot of time with the designer, and Yvonne Wang was always helping. We were just making some fantastic pictures. We have one of the best photographers in Hong Kong, Chester Hong. He did a fantastic, great picture. And for the past 20 or 25 years, Chester and myself still working together. We're still making some great pictures on all our innovative products. And then years later, I did, for the 25th anniversary of La Rose Noire, I did Le Pain Passion, which is all about bakery, all about beautiful bread. So it was the cakes, the tart shell, and the bread. For the 30 years anniversary of La Rose Noire, I wanted to make a chocolate book, but came COVID. The COVID started. I started to plan with Yvonne to make the chocolate book. But after the COVID and everything, then I said, okay, maybe not. I guess we had other worries during that time. So yeah, I did personally and publisher 4 cookbooks. All of them are online. We're selling them, but at the same time, we usually give them to our customers because they have great idea on what to do and a lot of innovation, what to do with our product. And why do I call them passion? Because it's all about a passion. That's why the first one was called, the last one is Le Pain Passion, Passion, the chocolate passion. I mean, it's all about our passion. That's why in Hong Kong we had some lovely cake shop called Passions as well. It's all about the innovation and the passion that has been driving me for the past 33 years or more.
Or more, right?
Or more.
And can we expect more books on the way?
Let's see. I was looking maybe for the 35 years anniversary of La Rose Noire. I was talking actually to my very good friend Angelo, and I told him, Angelo McDonald in Hong Kong last week, I said, hey, maybe Angelo, now that the COVID is over, everything is restarting again, maybe we should make one cookbook like we did in the past, and then I'll be very happy, of course, to publish it and have another cookbook. But I have a lot of innovation I'd like to do, even one about chocolates or about the passion of La Rose Noire. Let's see.
Let's see. Excellent. So where can people find these books?
The best is on our homepage, larosenoire.com. You can find these cookbooks. We have had them with our distributor worldwide. We're supplying a product around 58 countries around the world. And many of our distributors got this cookbook as well. Or you just come on our homepage and you can order them. Yeah.
Yes, great. And they are awarded books. So I'm sure everybody can check and enjoy the books. Okay, so you mentioned you had a big of a challenge during SARS. How was it for you now with COVID? How are you overcoming COVID?
SARS was definitely a huge challenge and at the same time a learning curve. Because SARS, suddenly overnight in Hong Kong, the hotels were empty and I was supplying the hotels. The supermarkets were busy because the people need to eat and I was supplying the supermarkets. My own cake shops in Hong Kong were not that busy because during SARS there was no more tourists. So I learned one thing from SARS is diversification in your own business. That's why we had make sure that you are not only, let's say, on that time in Hong Kong, that you're not only having your own supplying the hotels, but make sure that you're supplying the supermarket, make sure you're supplying the airlines, make sure you have your own cake shops. So diversification. I learned that during SARS or right after the the SARS, I learned that in our business, do not be only a croissant manufacturer. Do not only be a macaron manufacturer. Do not only be a tart shell manufacturer. That's why every year we're evolving and we have more and more lines. So many of our staff say, wow, it's never stop, But this is part of our innovation. That's why we have here in the Philippines a great R&D team, and which I love to try to work with them, and to be constantly with them, because innovation is the key. But at the same time, that's what I learned during SARS. And what did I learn during the COVID? Not to worry too much. Keep your staff, keep your team. Many of our distributors around the world fired everybody right away. In the Philippines, we just kept everyone, all the senior people, we just kept everyone for one reason. It's not like if you would be in a Switzerland or in many countries where the government pays for everything. In Philippines, the government could not pay for all like it would be in Switzerland and many other countries. And I told the entire team here, we need to keep everyone because one day, and I learned that from SARS, one day the COVID will be over. And as we have seen, it was a bit longer than expected, but we kept everyone, all the senior staff, all these great team members, which are today all like family members. That's what I learned. Just do not panic. Don't worry about the money that you could be losing today, but really worry about the long term of the family and the team. That's what I learned.
I see. Very good. So did you have to close the factory during COVID?
So in the Philippines, yes, we had. I remember very well. I was here with Pamela and Stephen. And then came the president of the base, the CDC, and he wanted to see me urgently. And he mentioned to me that tomorrow we would have to close our factory because of the COVID. And by the way, that there will be no more flight out of Clark. I say, what? I was, the shock. And then he said, Gerard, no choice. You have 24, 48 hours. You need to close the entire factory. We, of course, had huge losses because we had the factory running, thousands of kilos of those, thousands of kilos of ingredients and everything, all the staffs around. At that time we had around 2,000 team members in the factory, and overnight we had to shut down everything, and we didn't know for how long. And of course, huge losses. Of course, we had stock in our freezers in Europe, stock in the freezers in US, and then we had overnight had to close the factory, and then we didn't know for how long and how. Yeah, it was a fantastic learning experience. And you know what? Stay focused, stay happy, and then it all came back to normal. Or as we kept all the team members, the senior team members, it was easy for us to reopen and to come back to normal. But at the same time, stay focused on what you do best. That was the best experience.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. Don't give up. Yeah. So what is one thing that your successful venture did over the years that you, as the owner, the founder, did not expect? For good or for bad?
No, I think for good. I never expected to be selling our product in 58 or 60 countries around the world. We could be selling in more countries or in less, and actually it doesn't really matter for me. For me, it's not the volume that we do or how many customers we have, or I had no expectation. But it is still today for me the most important is that we still are the best in what we do. We got to be the most innovative pastry company, large pastry company in the world, I may say, or at least in a part of the business that we do. And most importantly, stay focused to your quality. And what I'm saying to all our team members all the time, it doesn't matter what it costs, but quality will prevail. Do not cut down, let's say in our tart shell, do not change butter for margarines. That's what many of our competitors are doing. We have many of our competitors selling the product half the price. Of course, very simple. You use oil, vegetable oil, you use margarines, you use some very low local flours. All the product that we're using here is all French flour or French Australian butter, just the best of the vanillas, the best of the fruit filling. That's what it is. And that's what I really learned over the years. And yeah, the venture went bigger and bigger, but that was not my target, actually. My target was really the quality and the innovations.
Okay. Mr. Dubois, how do you sell your product worldwide?
Well, first of all, when you have really a great product, you don't really need to sell it too much because the products are excellent. So that's really very helpful. But we started many years ago to build something that many of our competitors are not doing, that many of our distributors didn't really agree with me at the beginning. We put one of our sales managers together with our distributors. So this one will be paid 50-50, 50% from our distributor, 50% from La Rose Noire. And this sales manager need to do 4 to 5 presentations of La Rose Noire product per day, wherever they are. So let's say if you are in Ireland, you're a sales manager from La Rose Noire in Ireland, you need to go and see 4 to 5 customers per day. You have a full tray of sample set. So you would have a dry sample set, you would have a frozen sample set, you would have a black tablecloth, you would have your iPad. Everybody has been trained by a fantastic team in our factory in the Philippines. And from there, they know exactly the La Rose Noire standards. So they go and see the customers, they show the video, they show the product, and the customer can taste the product and hopefully place an order. And to make sure that all our and that we got around the world. So you can go down to Australia, or you have them in Japan, or you have them in Canada, you have them in the US, or you have them in Dubai, or in Italy, or in Switzerland. You just go around. We have also a weekly and monthly phone call with all our sales managers worldwide. We have a weekly, monthly phone call with all our distributors worldwide. We make sure that they know what's coming, that they understand the innovation of La Rose Noire. And that's the most important. If you're always selling the same product, you don't need to worry. If you're selling oil or rice, and it's the same thing. So you don't need to have your sales team going around and telling them what you do. But we are so innovative and creative. We always have new products. So we got to have this sales team around the world to go and see customers. But at the same time, we are very innovative on our homepage. Our team in Philippines is doing a fantastic work. We are very in touch with our Instagram account. So we really follow worldwide what's happening, and that's the best way for us to sell. But again, a great product doesn't need much to be sold.
Mr. Dubois, if I may ask you, what differentiates La Rose Noire from the other brands?
Wow, that's a good one. Of course. I will be very direct in my answer, and I will tell you our quality and innovations. Most of our competitors around the world have been doing similar tart shell for the past many years. We got some of our competitors making it with margarines, some making half, margarine and butter, some with local flours. And where we are really the Rolls Royce of the tart shells. We are the Aston Martin of our cones and baskets. We are really on the top quality. And I have very few of our competitors. We are doing such an innovation as what we do. We have a fantastic team here on our innovation. And our innovation and creation is so advanced that every month we're coming with a line of new products. And again, non-stop. So some people said, how can you guys create so many items? Because we are so passionate, so it's somehow easy. But that will be the difference between us and our competitors. Our creative mind and our top quality. That will be.
And I understand there are no machines in your factory, is that it?
No, we do have machinery. We do have bread mixers, we do have blast freezers, we do have ovens, we do have the droppers for the macarons, and yes, we do have chocolate tunnels. We got 6, 7, 8 of them. Yes, we do have machinery, but we don't have machinery to make tart shells. We don't have machinery. That most of the product that we do is all handmade. So we just have a stainless steel ring. We'll be doing our product just like I used to make it 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Instead of making one little tart shells, we're making thousands of them. But yeah, all our products are handmade. But we don't mix the dough by hand, but all the products are handmade.
So what is the one thing you are the most proud of your company today?
The most proud?
Yeah.
Wow, I guess definitely our CSR, our sustainability, and of course, what we're doing here with the students. We have a fantastic a school here. Our team here is doing an excellent job, and that's certainly my biggest baby, our foundations.
Can you tell us more about La Rose Noire Foundation? What it does, how it is, who runs it?
Well, I always stay very quiet about La Rose Noire Foundation because my wife said if you do some goods for people, you don't need to talk about it. It's for your heart. It's from your heart, for your heart, and you don't really need to talk about it. For many years, we've been doing charities. We started in Hong Kong with the Little Sisters of the Poor over 30 years ago. In Hong Kong, we've been supplying many charities for many years. When we had factories in China, we were also building schools over there. But when I came to the Philippines and I see there are so many poor kids here, or poor students, or poor family, and then with a huge, huge smile, it is so wonderful. So we started to go around and we saw that they have some classes in school which absolutely nothing. You know, they barely have a building. They have not enough the food for the students or for the kids. So then we started the foundation, and the foundation has three pillars of the foundation. One of them is teaching the young students for poor family. So they have to be between 18 to 25 years old. We're taking 50% male, 50% females, and they have to be really from poor family. Maybe we take 200-300 students first, and we really pick up the one who really want to learn and stay with us for 6 months. It's a Philippine Department of Education certifications. We got all of them. We're the fastest NGO in the Philippines on that branch. And we're teaching the students either to be a pastry chef or a baker or making coffee. Coffee. And now we'll be starting with chocolate as well. So the coffee, a barista. So that's one of the arm of the foundations, which the classes are just right next to us here in the Philippines, next to the factories. And we have a full team of people running this school, which of course, as we have all the Philippine Department of Education certifications, we had to go through the TESDA and all these government institution. But we are still, I'm not asking any money from anyone. It's all coming from La Rose Noire. We're running that on our own. I don't need any money coming from overseas or from anywhere. It's really a La Rose Noire run. But we do have some other program as well, which one of my lovely and more cherished program is Build the School program. So it's like you are adopting a child. It's adopting a school or build a school. So we go around, and around here where we are, there's hundreds of schools because thousands and millions of people in Pampanga. So we go and see the poorest school. The school who really have been built since 1970, 1980s, and the government doesn't do much about it, or they just have the land, the school, and some, just enough teachers. But this school started with 30 or 40 students, and now there are 400, 500 students. So we started that 4 years ago to build a school program. We went to Dungan Elementary School, to Kalungpang Elementary School. We see what they need, and then we rebuild the school. So we take down one of the building, and we build a brand new building. So they had only 2 classes. Now there are 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 classes. We make sure that the land is owned by the government, by the school. And then we just build all what they don't have. And like I said, it's like adopting a child. So we're adopting a school. So we go back every 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and we do the give a bread program. I don't like to use the word feeding program because it's more like it's more like for the cattle, or very rude. So we really go there and we don't. It's not a feeding program, but we give bread. Sharing is caring. Bread has been given for centuries, so we are the perfect factory here. We have a lot of food, so we're sharing all the food with the schools. And then we go back, and last time in Dungan, we built 4 more toilets. They had now 400 students, 1 toilet only. So we built 4 toilets, and then we're going back every 6 months, and we see, last time they were asking me if we can build some, they don't have enough electricity, so we give them solar panels. They don't have enough fan or aircon, so we give them all what they need to run the school. The most important is, don't give a fish to a fisherman, but teach that fisherman how to fish. Will be the same here. No point for us to go and see this poor family and giving them money, which we don't know what they do with. Just teach the student to learn about a trade. I love the pastry, bakery, chocolate trade. I love to be able to teach them, or to pay for teachers to teach them to be a bakers. But that's what I would like to do, is to give them a job. They are coming here, we pay them to come to work. Why? Because we want to make sure that they stay in the classes. We pay them for of course, the housing, the food, we give them everything. We just want to make sure that after 6 months, they qualified and they graduate as a student of La Rose Noire Foundation to be a baker or a pastry chef or a barista and soon a chocolatier. But we do have other programs as well. Our assistant general manager here, Pamela Flores, is really helping us a lot with all these different charities. But we have a full team behind it, and it is really my joy to participate and to keep pushing and getting better and better. It's not about how many students we can do, but just if you take only 18 or 36 or 48 per year, it's a bit like La Rose Noire. It's all about quality. So it's not about having maybe 10,000 students and learning a little things. I would prefer to have only 36 or 48 or 65 or 68 per year, but that the one learning will be the best. Many of them, they are coming back because we started many years ago. They're coming back twice a year when we do our graduations, and they give testimony. Where they came from, how did they started in La Rose Noire Foundation. Many of them are now working in Dubai, working in a cruise ship, this is what it is. Just to be able to teach them to have our passion and to be the best at what they do.
Wow, you are actually changing the lives of these people. That's amazing.
Giving them a chance in a life. I was born in Switzerland, a good star, a great country. I was able to be well educated, not as well educated as the education of my kids, because now the times are different, So I was very lucky where I came from, and I would like to give a chance to these young students, just a chance in a life. Now, if they don't do it, it's really up to them, but it's really to give them a chance in a life.
And talking about these students, can they work here in the factory?
No, for one simple reason. Because my customers and our customers and our distributors around the world would believe that if these students are working in La Rose Noire, I'm actually using them to have more staff in our factory. So the team in our factory, we call them artisan, because they're really artisan baker, artisan chocolatier, artisan. So we have around 2,500 artisans in our factory. The factory is running 24/7. And of course, we could ask this young student coming out of the graduation to work with us. But then I would personally feel that I've been using them. I want to find them a job. After they're leaving, we find them a job. We have right now 89% of, for the past, since we started in 2016, 89% of all the students have a job. They're all coming back to us, they keep in touch with us, and I would love to have even 90% or 95%. We find them a job in the Philippines first. They work in many of the hotels or bakery or pastry, and then later on, if they can, we help them to have a job overseas. But they are not working back in La Rose Noire.
Great, great. Now, talking about your staff, right? You have almost 3,000 staff in your production. How can you keep them happy and not resigning in a facility which is totally quality controlled? And how is that challenge for you?
I think it's more like a father or a mother raising up the family or the kids. You have yourself a baby or a kid, a boy, and you know that is every day some challenge. But you need to give them the proper directions. We have a committee. Stephen and Pamela organize a committee inside the factory of team leaders who tell us what they would like to have. It's a bit like, I don't like to use that word, but it's a bit like a unions. It's a committee in charge of telling us or to be between the owners or the management and the wonderful team of artisans that we have here. So they will tell us that every month they would like to have a staff party. Yesterday we did a family day party here in Clark. We had over that was yesterday Sunday, over 1,500 people. The workers or the artisan can bring their family members as well. And funny enough, we had 500 artisans coming to the party, but 1,000 family members. So we had 1,500 people here on the ground, on the beautiful ground that we have here in Clark. We'll be doing another party in Christmas again. We did last Christmas, we had over 5,000 people. So constantly we do the outings for the staff. We do, I could name it. We're doing so many, the tree planting for the family members. We're doing a barbecue. We're doing, loads of activity to keep them. At the same time, all the team members coming here to the factory are all fully, food is for free. So you can have a breakfast, lunch and dinner for free. The only thing that we are doing is whatever you take at the staff canteen, you need to eat it. We do not want any wastage. We realize over the years that sometimes when everything is for free, there is some wastage. So today it's a policy. It's all you take. They can eat as much as they want and whenever they want. In a breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but they need to finish everything. And we're doing every month also, like I said, a barbecue. And I think the food that we're giving away here, the staff canteen, we have a great team of chefs at the staff canteen, very good food. But we have also free Wi-Fi. We have also the clinic here. It goes on and on and on. And our team members are really dedicated and fantastic team members. But let's not forget, you're working in Philippines. You will have you have the chance of having the huge smile of the Filipino people here, and I love it. Everybody speaks English, they're so friendly. But at the same time, every day they have the pressure from the family, and some of them just don't come to work because mama is sick, grandmother is sick, so we do have some no-show daily in the factory, but we got used to it and we accept it. We're in a wonderful country, it's a big smile, so we get on with it with a smile.
I heard there is music in production, is that true?
I started the music in a production 33 years ago in Hong Kong. Then we had the same in China, and then we have exactly the same in Philippines. The entire productions run with music. Usually you have a team of dedicated some of the senior team members who are controlling the music and whatever, either the radio or the music. I think it is much more interesting for artisan and team members to work with the music than falling asleep in a factory very quiet. We have actually our factory, it's really a very large pastry or bakery shop. Instead of having one person making one tart shell, we have thousands of them. But it is a very large bakery, just like you would have in any countries around the world. But it is just state of the art, extremely clean, it's really a hospital. So yes, we do have music. Everybody has full gear productions. Going into our productions is really, we want to make sure that there's absolutely no foreign objects. We want absolutely no, we are very, very tight on our quality control, and also for all the team members going inside the production, it's very much under control, very tight.
I see. So how is La Rose Noire manufacture adapting to accommodate the environmental needs?
Wow, we are very much ahead of the game on that. Our CSR program is really very well developed. I've been helped a lot on this one with my son. My son did the Lausanne Hotel School, and then he worked in Japan, he worked in Hong Kong at the Peninsula, and he's working now in a Six Sense Hotel in Crans-Montana in Switzerland. He's a director of sustainability. So for many years, talking about it, he loves sustainability and everything, and he told me many years ago, oh, Dad, I think you should stop the plastic in your cake shops in Hong Kong. And then I said, I guess you're right. Then years ago, we started to work with starch. And then, oh, Dad, we should cut down all the, you should reuse all the water. So it really gave me a lot of great ideas. Years ago, the factory here, we started to put all solar panel on top of the factory. We got today over 1,000 solar panel, which could generate around, depending on the day, but if it's from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., full sunny day in the Philippines, we can have 80, 90, even 100% of all the electricity used during the daytime as a clean energy. Absolutely fantastic. I went to visit many factories actually this summer in Europe. I don't see any factory having 90 or 100% on clean energy. Whenever the team members are coming to the factory here, we have absolutely no plastic bottles. It's all, we're giving them the bottle. It's all the filtered water, and everybody's coming, they can choose from cold water, warm water, chilled water, and then from their own water flask. All on our food, like I said early on, the zero food wastage, very well implemented. Reusing the water from the rain. We pick up the water and make sure we can use that for the toilet or anything. So our sustainability program is really well advanced. We're working right now on all our compactors for the waste. We're working right now on having all our compost. So any food that we have here in the factory, we will use it through a composting machine. We started to work 8 years ago, well ahead of the game, in all our blisters to be on a biodegradable blisters. We're not there yet because we're moving on a time with, right now these biodegradable blisters are getting better and better over the time. All our new line that we're making today are all on biodegradable blisters. We cannot mold them as deep as we want to, but that's the way it is. So we're really working ahead of the game on our sustainability. We started years ago on making our own chocolates, on our own couverture, all single origin from the Philippines. Why? Because the Philippines, down in Davao, they have a lot of cocoa bean, a lot of chocolates. So why shall we bring the chocolate from Africa going to Europe and coming back here? So we're making our own single origin chocolate. So we are helping the farmers, and we are making sure less carbon footprint. We are working right now with two different companies to be hopefully soon to have the factory on a zero carbon footprint. So it's a lot of work, but if the factory itself could be zero carbon footprint, will be a nice dream, will be really fantastic. So yes, we are at the head of the game in our sustainability.
Great, great. La Rose Noire will soon to be 33 years. Wow, a long journey. What is the future of La Rose Noire from now on?
The future is all about our innovations. The future is all about keeping our great teams super happy. We have a fantastic team here in the Philippines. We have La Rose Noire himself, and many people who have been for so many years with us. You know, now we're talking to me, but we have so many, Yvonne Wong has been for so many years, and Roger Geiser so many years, and now we have in the Philippines, Pamela's and Steven, and then the whole team. My dream is really to keep the team happy, to be able to not to stop in our innovation, but to keep our innovation, and most importantly, stay super creative and just do whatever you do better and better. I think we have a great quality product, and I think we can do it even better. And I think that will be for the years to come with La Rose Noire. Just whatever you do it better.
I see. I know all your recipes in the factory, in your production, is a secret. But tell me, Mr. Dubois, what is your recipe for success?
Like I said early on, there is only one recipe for success. Stay focused on what you do. There is only one recipe for success. Use the best ingredients. Be the best at what you do. And don't try to be just everywhere and nowhere. So in regard to our recipes in our factory, there's nothing really secretive, because making a millefeuille or making a puff pastry, it's really using the best French flour, the best French butter, the best, and I mean, it doesn't have to be French. I mean, I love the French butter, but when I mean French butter, you could do it with an Australian butter as well. You could do it with, but we're using French butter. And whatever you do, use the best ingredients, have the best machinery with you, and the best team to work on this product. Then you make the best millefeuille. Now we do the same with our tart shells. Exactly the same. This is the most important. Stay focused to what you do, and the best recipes is pretty simple.
I see. Mr. Dubois, what is the one piece of advice you would give to someone starting the career right now?
I think it's exactly the same piece of advice that I said all the way along. Stay focused, please. Because too many of these young kids, they just try to be everywhere and nowhere. And they try to be a lawyer or a doctor or a Instagram superstar when they don't really like it. It's just because their friends are doing it and they want to do the same. You know what? Follow your heart. Stay focused. Follow your heart. Don't try to be a big millionaire today, but just do what you like to do and what you are good at. That would be my best advice.
Great, great. So, if you could start your business all over again tomorrow, what would you do differently?
Nothing. I will do it exactly the same. I've been very lucky. I've been really very blessed. I've been blessed with my family, blessed with the team all the way along, blessed to be able to have the best partners around, or most of them. I've been very, very blessed all my life, and I will not change anything. I will simply redo it all over again.
That's great. That's great. And the last question, Mr. Dubois. If you could change one thing in the world, what would that be?
It will definitely be our sustainability. Today, the world as we are, we cannot keep going. the water wastage, the electricity, we definitely, all of us, need to work so much more closely, and maybe putting more solar panel, or maybe stop using plastic bottles, or there's so much more we all need to do. But it comes down to the very basic of education. That's why we have here, we try to educate all our team members on our sustainability, the zero waste program. But I think we all need to work much closely together on educating the young, the elderly. I mean, the education is the key to the success of this sustainability. We're doing a small little thing here in our factories in Philippines by being super clean energy, but I guess all of us need to work much closely together to achieve it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to hear all your projects, sustainability, CSR. It was a pleasure to learn from your story. Thank you for sharing with us.
Stay in touch. Maybe you will learn many more things about La Rose Noire in the future.